This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. I'm an entertainer, the one and only eighth father in the house, baby. Wow! I can't sleep tonight. Just got my mind on a lot of things. I want the MOASS. I want to win. I want the best for my family. I want the best for your family. So I'm going to share something personal with you, but there is a point to this that I really feel that when you connect the dots, you'll see where I'm going with this. So my wife, as you all know, wonderful, wonderful woman, the best woman on earth, the best mother, the best wife, an amazing human being. She has a stage 4 breast cancer. Now, when she first found out that she had breast cancer, the doctors thought it was something called DCIS. What that just simply means is that the cancer didn't leave the lining of the breast duct, the ducts in the breast. So in other words, it's contained inside the breast. It didn't travel outside the breast. So unfortunately, chemotherapy is useless in that case because chemo is only effective when it travels, outside. It spreads. So they didn't recommend chemo. So they gave her, unfortunately, a very hard process. She had to go through surgery. She had to have a mastectomy of her left breast. I'm getting very personal with you. And this was supposed to be to remove all of the breast cancer that was trapped inside the ducts of the breast. But they realized, I guess, that when they did surgery, that she actually had invasive breast cancer. So it wasn't DCIS. It was invasive breast cancer. Okay. So technically you could say they made a mistake, right? But it's just something that happens. The doctors all claimed, that this is something you can't find out until you operate. Okay. So the thing is, now the breast cancer spread. Okay. Because when they operated, obviously there's the chest wall is opened. And I guess the cancer was able to get inside, of which then led to stage 4 breast cancer, where it traveled, throughout her spine. And it's crazy. We even want to get into it. It got to the liver. They got it out of the liver, thank God, with chemotherapy. But, and I'm getting very personal. I know you're like, oh my God, hey, Father, why are you telling me all of this? Because the simplest solution sometimes is the best. You see all this complicated stuff they did, operations and all of this other crazy stuff they put it through, right? Where you want to hear the sick thing? If they would have just did chemotherapy from the very beginning, it would have wiped out the breast cancer. They admitted this afterwards, because she had something called HER2, which responds very well to chemotherapy. So if they would have did it from the beginning before the operation, she would have been 100% cancer free. Okay. But they didn't do that. They went the hard, complicated route. And it didn't work. Now she has to be on treatment the rest of her life. Thank God she's an extremely strong girl. I mean, she's the strongest woman that I've ever known. I give her amazing respect, props. She's powerful, and she maintains being the most wonderful mother during these very tough times in her life, and the most wonderful wife. So God bless her. The point, and I used a very personal, heartfelt point, is sometimes the simplest solution is the best. But I think human nature, we all think that simple solutions can't work because, it's too easy. And greatness can't be accomplished from something easy. Greatness has to be accomplished for something hard, something complex, something difficult. Okay. That's not always the case. And it's hard. It's really hard for a lot of people to accept this. Sometimes the simplest thing is the answer to greatness. And I am telling you, okay, from my heart, from one ape to another ape, I'm telling you, all we have to do is switch to Fidelity, okay, and buy away using the Active Trader Pro app. It's going to be buying pressure, real buying pressure, that's going directly into the lit market, directly into the New York Stock Exchange, directly right into AMC. No payment for order flow, no dark pool. You're completely wiping out, okay, the market makers. It's going directly into the lit market, right into the New York Stock Exchange, right into AMC. Okay. Now, on top of that, which that alone is like phenomenal, right? Okay. you're not only taking away Citadel's power, you're going to expose all of the fake shares, the synthetics, and everything that's out there that's not real. Whatever you want to call it. Credit, fake shares, whatever you want to call it. You're going to expose it. Okay. Because let me explain to you what happens. Okay. Let's assume you're on Robinhood, right? And you transfer 500 shares of Fidelity. They have to be real shares or they can't be transferred. You understand what I'm trying to say? They can't be transferred if they're fake. So let's assume 200 shares are not real shares. They're fake. You're going to notice that after, say, 3 or 4 business days, Fidelity is going to contact you and say, we were only able to transfer over 300 shares. And you're going to be like, well, what's happening? Now you're going to start to notice a delay. Okay. Could go on because it's happening right now to a lot of our ape brothers and sisters. They're contacting the ape father. They're going through this as we speak. They're waiting over a week. They're like, how come it's taking so long to transfer my shares? Because Robinhood now is flipping out. They're going all over the place trying to locate 200 shares that they're going to buy instantly and then ship them over. Because currently, you had 200 fake shares out of the 500, right? So, okay, now they might be able to do this at first for a little while. Okay, they might be able to play this little game. But if a tremendous amount of apes were transferring over to Fidelity, especially if this was happening all at once, like if a tremendous, like a mountain amount of apes, we have 4 million apes in AMC, 4 million retail investors. Okay. So let's just say like 1 million apes. I'm just giving like for example, transferred from Robinhood into Fidelity. Okay. You might see some major problems for Robinhood because they may not be able to buy back shares. It'll be too overwhelming. It'll be too much in one shot. It'll be like an avalanche. Okay. And what's going to happen is that's going to cause the MOASS. Okay. Why is it going to cause a MOASS? First of all, because they're going to be buying back as many shares as they possibly can. I'm talking about the real shares. I'm saying assuming there's a tremendous amount of fake shares. Okay. So they're going to be buying and buying and buying to try to just make up the mistake that they made, right? And what's going to happen is AMC is going to shoot up. That alone could trigger, okay, a forced margin call. But then another thing that could happen is they might throw in the gloves. They might put the white flag up and say, I give up. Because, maybe they won't be able to find any more shares because they don't exist. There's only 513 million real shares in AMC. So it might get to a point where there'll be 513 million shares transferred over to Fidelity. And then anything above that, they can't buy, right? Because it doesn't exist, right? So what's going to happen then? They got a lot of explaining to do. Okay? And that's going to be something that Gary Gensler cannot ignore. He can't just turn he can't say, what's Gary Gensler's famous line? It's on the table. He can't do it. He can't do it. It'll get national attention. It'll be outrage throughout the whole stock market. And then we win. Okay. But see, the problem is, this is what the problem is. A lot of people, for some reason, don't like the ape father. A lot of apes. And I really don't know why. All I've done when I came onto this scene is help apes. That's all I've done. I first came on in June. I got reached out by apes telling